serious Americans who take America seriously, this
After long and sometimes bitter hearings, the Senate Judiciary Committee confirmed Chief Justice Rehnquist and Associate Justice Scalia. It wasn't easy for the senators to get anything out of Rehnquist.
I simply can't answer that, Senator. I'm just not sure my memory is that good. I just can't offer any further explanation than that. I'm not at all, I'm not entirely sure.
We asked Rehnquist if his overuse of Percodan might have affected his memory.
Oh, sure, sort of.
Things went more smoothly for Antonin Scalia, the first Italian-American named to the High Court. Here's why.
I would be remiss if I did not mention the fact that my great-great-grandfather married a widow who was married first to an Italian-American.
The phone! The kids! The door! The dinner! Calgon, take me away!
Calgon Bath Oil takes you away to a calm world of peaceful bathing.
Last year, the Bernard Goetz affair shocked city dwellers everywhere. With a follow-up report on the case, we go now to Steve Casper in New York.
What drove Bernard Goetz to his act of vigilante violence? To answer that question, we've come into the bowels of the Big Apple. Beneath the proud towers, beneath the bright lights, and...
Excuse me, Steve.
Yes.
What's that door behind you?
What door?
It's right behind you, Steve.
Oh, is that a door? It's, that is, it's an oilet. Bob, that is an oilet.
No, Steve, I think that says toilet. You know, I've always been curious about subway toilets, and I think our viewers are too. Why don't you go in, Steve? Show us around.
Inside? Bob, I don't think Goetz used the toilet.
Oh, forget about Goetz. This could be a hot story.
But, Bob, I relieved myself on the way down here, and besides, it's probably locked anyway.
Well, try it. See. Go ahead. Go on, Casper.
Oh, Bob, there's something on it. I think I should have a doctor look at it or something, Bob. Ooh, it's like there's something on it.
No, Steve, it moved. The door's open. I think you can go in now. Go ahead.
I know. We can make this a two-parter. He could come down here tomorrow and
Get in, Stephen. Now.
Right, Bob. I'll go.
On behalf of the New York City Transit Authority, I'd like to welcome you to the Times Square Subway Men's Room.
In your busy day, you don't always have time to eat, so why not snack on a tasty new treat? Mises Pieces, the candy shaped like Attorney General Ed Meese. With Mises Pieces, no one in America will feel like going hungry.
There's still plenty of fat in the federal government.
And they're especially popular at cabinet meetings. Mises Pieces.
It was 60 years ago today that President Coolidge sent U.S. Marines into Nicaragua to fight rebel forces, led by the guerrilla leader Sandino. Today, President Reagan decided to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the occasion with a dramatic reenactment. And now that the Senate has opened its doors to live TV coverage, many senators are looking for ways to spice up their acts.
I never had a penny to my name, so I changed my name. Said you hear about the near-sighted snake who fell in love with a piece of rope?
We'll have more after this.
Hi, I'm Crazy Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street. Other discount houses call their prices deals, but what a nightmare! I'm slashing prices on all Yamaha equipment for this week and next week only. So come down to Crazy Freddy's. Take the Elm Street exit off I-95. Freddy's gonna get you.
Agreement on tax reform was reached last month. 4 out of 5 Americans will pay less. 1 out of 5 will get clobbered. Senator Danforth had some more good news and some bad news.
The good news is you get maybe a $200 tax cut. The bad news is you lose your job.
And the world of Playboy may be changing, as Hugh Hefner announced this morning that from now on, all nude centerfolds for the magazine will be drawn by artist Andrew Wyeth. Here's a peek at Miss October. We'll have more on this story later.
A or B?
B.
Okay. A or B?
B.
Is that better or worse?
Better. Better, much better.
How's that?
Oh, great. That's it. I can see great.
Good.
Shouldn't the people be informed that 15 million American children go to bed hungry each month?
Effigies. You love them, you hate them, you can't live without them. Hi, I'm Mary from the Effigy Boutique, the only store devoted exclusively to effigies. And as you can see here, good effigies are hard to find. Well, at the Effigy Boutique, every effigy that you buy or rent is guaranteed to hold up to the toughest beating, or your money back, plus 10%. And no other supplier of effigies can make an offer like that. And our effigies burn evenly. Ernie? They're made from wooden brooms, the very best. So, whether it's to overthrow a government or simply to encourage it, make your point with an effigy and come here first to the Effigy Boutique. We'll treat you right.
Coming up, our television reviewer looks at the new fall season.
Got a great beat. I like it.
This would be good on a date. It's good making out music.
Can't dance to it. It's no good if you can't dance to it.
Yup. Yup. For sure. The lead guitar's really rad, but the band sucks.
I'd give it a 5, maybe a 7. Certainly not more than a 7. Well, maybe a 6. No, a 7.
Adjective. Need an adjective.
Funny.
Fluffy.
Slippery. Slippery. Good. Slippery is good. Okay. Now one more verb.
Top. Puked.
Pinched. Pinched is excellent. Okay. Good. Now, listen to this. John Drake was a very slippery man who pinched his family and his friends. He was a great family man who stuffed his wife. He will be greatly slurped by all who knew him.
They're new special occasion Mad Libs, available for funerals, weddings, divorces, and Senate committee hearings.
All right, please. His death will be a great banana to the community.
Special occasion Mad Libs, when you can't find the words to express your emotion.
Hey, I won! Look, $5 million in the Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. Well, I can't believe it. I'm so excited. This has been my dream for 10 years to be a millionaire.
A what?
Well, a millionaire.
Your dream for 10 years? To what?
Well, to get rich, and now I'm a millionaire like you. I almost didn't send it in. I never win anything. Now I got this letter worth $5 million. $5 million. Hey, let go of me. Wait a minute. Let go of me. What do you think you're doing here?
They will give it to me.
Well, I don't want to give it.
They'll see that I get it.
Well, but this is my letter, Mr. President. Please, don't give it back. I'm sorry. I got too excited. I'll be quiet. Just please give me back my letter, please. Now, give it back, sir. Get away from me. Give me back my letter.
Ma'am, they'll see that I get it. Honest, they will.
Well,
And
no.
thank you very much.
Well, look, I'm waiting, Mr. President. I'm being real nice, and I'm... Wait. Oh, well, the hell with you, you lousy son of a...
And if you couldn't hear, she said, "Thank you, America."
Great dates in history. July 20th, 1969. For the first time, man sets foot on the moon. As the entire world watched, astronaut Neil Armstrong walked on the moon and even sampled the lunar soil, looking for any signs of life. But he was unable to obtain any evidence that would support the theory that life exists elsewhere in our universe. Nevertheless, the first lunar landing will go down as one of man's proudest moments. And it all happened on July 20th, 1969. One of the great dates in history.
What are you going to feed a little delinquent who doesn't like anything? He still needs his vitamins and fiber in the morning. Are you going to give him Lucky Charms? Crunch Berries? Fruity Pebbles? Well, now, from the makers of Apple Jacks, comes new Urban Jacks, enriched with the raw ingredients that paved and built America's cities from the bottom up. Urban Jacks, and new Urban Jacks with raisins when you're that tough.
And now, the evening news with Bob Charles. Sitting in for Bob Charles, sports editor Pete Kimmelman.
Thank you and good evening, news fans. Well, it was a day full of upsets and surprises, so stick around. We've got films of all the highlights.
In South Korea today, an anti-government demonstration turned into a hockey game.
Here you see it starts out with a little pushing and shoving, and it's hard to tell who's on top. And look, when was the last time you saw the flying wedge? Some of these Korean kids have pretty good arms, but then the cops brought in their heavy hitters and an armored truck. So what do the other guys do? They get their own truck. Then along comes this bunch in gas masks and city clothes. I don't know which side they're on, but they're mixing it up pretty good. And watch this shot. Oh, that's got us smart. And this fella, he's so weighed down with protection, he ends up on his keister. I thought the opposition had a chance, but here come the cops, about 1 million of them. And like they say, that's all she wrote. Our hit of the week, though, comes from Austria and features recently elected president of Austria, Kurt Too-Tall Waldau. Bang! Let's see it again on instant replay. Watch his right, Kurt, and wham! Closer to home, the Democrats and Republicans on Capitol Hill are gearing up for their own Donnybrook.
It's time to take names and kick rear ends.
We'll have that story and a look at the tight race for Alan Cranston's Senate seat. All that and more right after this.
We all know that somewhere out there is an intelligence superior to our own, life forms wiser than ourselves.
And I alone am in touch with those life forms every night at 10 o'clock. Mad Dog to Clayton. Mad Dog to Clayton.
Mad Dog Lamont for Congress. Sure, it sounds crazy, but what if he's right?
Hello, Clayton.
How badly has the drop in American tourism affected the British economy?
No, you missed a spot right there. Right. Good.
CBS News announced today that it was laying off everyone except Charles Corralt, who will deliver all the news on the network from his mobile home. The dozens of anchor people and correspondents being let go will now look for jobs at the other networks or go into modeling. Now this.
Coming this fall, it's the Heimlich Kids. You'll want to see it 10 times, only on HBO.
Nancy Reagan took her anti-drug campaign to Las Vegas today, where she spoke to a convention of high school principals.
I know how difficult it is to resist peer pressure and the other temptations of drugs. I know it's not easy, and I have the greatest respect for those young people struggling to regain their lives. As I often tell them, we only have one life, and we better make it count. We only make this trip once.
Of gratitude as such.
Yes?
Joe Jenkins, I have a 10:30 appointment.
So do these other gentlemen. Be seated, please.
What is a lobbyist, and what do lobbyists do? Despite their negative image, Washington's cadre of highly paid lobbyists perform a vital function in the legislative process. By making rounds on Capitol Hill, they are able to inform our elected officials of the concerns and feelings of the various special interest groups.
Excuse me. I hate to bother you, but I'd kind of like to start out with a joke. Do you know if he's heard the one about the woman psychiatrist who walks into a bar with a chicken on her shoulder?
Twice. This morning.
Because of the large campaign contributions they make, lobbyists are widely believed to exert considerable influence. In fact, this influence is greatly exaggerated. All the lobbyist can hope for is a few precious minutes of the lawmaker's time in which to present his case.
Yes, sir.
Send in, Jenkins.
All right, Senator. The lobbyist will see you now.
Lobbyists, buying influence today for a big payoff tomorrow.
Zsa Zsa Gabor got married last month for the 185th time. This one will last forever, said the 97-year-old actress. Her new husband's name is being kept a secret. And the organizers of Hands Across America have announced they raised a total of $16 million for America's poor last spring. That breaks down to a whopping 50 cents for every impoverished man, woman, and child, or about the price of a can of Coke, one of the event's major sponsors. Finally, more trouble today for Michael Deaver, as his 13-year-old daughter turned him into the police for lying. Deaver is seen here lying to President Reagan. Now this.
Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. Until now. Now there's West Coast Seltzer. Find out what we on the West Coast have known about for years. That a cold glass of West Coast Seltzer is like a cool dip in the Pacific. And hey, here's good news for the health conscious. West Coast Seltzer is great if you're on a high-salt diet. So don't be an old fuddy-duddy. Don't be an ancient mariner. Go on down to your local grocer and say, give me a six-pack of WC. Believe me, you will never drink another seltzer.
West Coast Seltzer, the albatross of bottled water.
Coming up in sports, a Bat Day promotion backfires.
Hi, I'm Rich Hall. Welcome to another installment of Sniglets.
Excuse, Sniglets?
Sniglets.
Please, what are Sniglets?
Well, Sniglets are words that should be in the dictionary but aren't.
Key?
Words like yaffling. Yaffling. The belief that talking louder and slower to a foreigner will make you more easily understood. Yaffling.
Yaffling.
Any frustrating attempt to communicate with a donut waitress through the glass case is called donetics. The violent coughing attack brought on by consuming powdered sugar donuts is called Duncan hacking. The final phase of lawn cutting, that is, the point at which one stops mowing in a regular pattern and begins mowing freestyle, is called the mowdown. The gear shift on the side of a recliner is called the barca throttle. Now, if you have a Sniglet, here's the address, as always, Post Office Box 2350, Hollywood, California, 90078. If we use your Sniglet, of course, you'll receive a copy of the unexplained Sniglets of the Universe. Words such as vertebratraumatricide, the fear of causing spinal damage to your mom by accidentally stepping on a sidewalk crack.
New Ninja Frisbee Throwing Stars from Whambo.
You're the first lady, and you're far from the worst lady. No one's tried any harder, not even Rosalind Carter. Compared to Pat Nixon, you're a super vixen. You're Ronnie's only diamond, unless you count